You should be barricaded in your house and kept off of the street, or sterilized, lobotomized, left in a car in heat, cause the things you say and do tell me your brain cells aren't with you, and that is why I hate you.
Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. Joaquin once again is eating. Are you eating tacos from that same place?
Oh no. Sorry, no. I didn't. I didn't have time to go there because they take like an hour to make your food.
Yeah.
I ended up biting the bullet and going to Salmonella Central or Chipotle.
Oh really? So
Yeah.
you got like almost real. So you got like the B level of tacos, and I went to Taco Bell earlier and got the C
Oh
level
God,
of tacos.
that's Z grade.
You know what was even worse about it? I thought I got taco supremes, and they weren't. They were just regular tacos, so I didn't even have tomatoes and sour cream on them. I was really upset.
There's something super. I mean, it's always disappointing to not get the food that you like ordered. But I have a feeling, like, I feel like when you go to Taco Bell and they get your order wrong, it's like extra disappointing.
I don't
because
think
it's such
they
a
got
specific
it wrong.
taste.
So I go up to the window, and I could have sworn the number one meal was Crunchy Taco Supreme meal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I ordered. And then they're like, do you want regular or Supreme? And I was like, I just figured that was like supersize. And I was like, regular. And then it wasn't until I got home and started eating them and was like, oh, is that what they meant by Supreme? Like you can make them Taco Supremes? I thought they were Taco Supremes from the get-go. Because I used to get them all the time, and it was just Crunchy Taco Supremes. So maybe they changed it. So now it's like Crunchy Tacos, and then you can make it Supremes instead. It's fucking irritating.
Okay. Well, what I notice is that, like, you know, like when you eat, there's flavor profile and there's mouthfeel, like the actual texture of it.
Yes. Yeah.
If you get something wrong in Taco Bell, that can ruin both at the same time. Like if I go to Burger King and they give me the wrong meal, unless it's chicken, the worst thing that's going to happen is that, oh my God, it tastes wrong.
Where no, you're definitely right.
It could be completely just off.
You're definitely
it's like
right
drinking seltzer instead of Sprite.
I didn't. It wasn't like I bit into it and was like, oh, this doesn't taste right. It didn't feel right because it didn't have the tomatoes and it didn't have the sour cream. So I didn't have that like cold feeling of the sour cream.
Yeah, it just
and like the big clumps of tomato. It just felt like I was eating mush because it was lettuce, cheese, and whatever they call. I'm not going to call it meat. Whatever they put in there.
No, the cat food or whatever.
That's I don't even think cat. I wouldn't even make my cat eat that stuff.
But last I ate Taco Bell, because I had a long period of time that I didn't eat Taco Bell because they got rid of the nacho fry box for a while.
Oh, right.
And I actually love their fucking fries.
Really?
I think it's just Old Bay seasoning on like fries, but I don't give a shit. I love those fries, those nacho, quote unquote nacho fries or whatever they are. And I always get like a chalupa. I rarely get a Crunchwrap Supreme, even though that's the only other thing I'll get.
Yeah.
I just like the texture. I like chalupas. I really do. But regardless, I prefer real tacos or real burritos and things like that.
Yeah,
and
I mean, me too.
Something I always need are onions on it. I don't care how bad my breath is going to be. I need the taste of onions. I realized Taco Bell doesn't put onions on anything.
No, they don't.
And it took me years of my life eating Taco Bell to realize that they don't do it. And like, this is even more depressing now.
Yeah, but Taco Bell is to tacos what Pizza Hut is to pizza. Like, it's technically the food, but it's not the food. Like, we have taco night here on a regular basis where my wife makes tacos, and they're like real taco. We actually use ground turkey instead of ground beef. I prefer the taste. It's a little healthier, and I prefer the taste. So I was like, let's do that. But like real tacos with real chunks of tomato and nice freshly cut lettuce and cheese and stuff in it, and it's just a completely different taste. But yeah, I was really disappointed about the. I was like, if I'm gonna eat this garbage, it should at least be right. I tried to go keto for a while. That lasted all like a week, and one of the things that I saw I could eat was they have like the taco bowl at Taco Bell if you get the right stuff in it.
Yeah,
and that was actually really good because
I was thinking of the one in Chipotle. I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, you're thinking of like more real
the burrito bowl. Yeah,
yeah, you're not. Did you say Bay? What did you say before?
Old Bay.
Old
Bay seasoning.
Yeah, remember like right before we started, I was talking about how I got a new cologne.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like an Old Bay cologne. I think it's called. I think that's what it's called. I went and got my hair cut the other day, and whenever my barber's done cut my hair, he sprays stuff on me, and he always sprayed this lime stuff, and it smelled so good. And this was like a year ago. I was like, dude, you got to tell me what that stuff is. And he's like, oh, it's this lime stuff. And I couldn't find it. And then I went back, and he told me again. I still couldn't find it. And then the third time I went back, I was like, go get it. And I took a picture of it.
What is the name of it, you motherfucker? Right. That's what I want.
He told me, but he was telling me the wrong name. I forget it.
Oh, okay.
It was slightly off, so I had to go get it, and then I ordered it on Amazon, and it was like a gallon jug for like $18 or something. It was nothing.
Wow.
So anyway, the last couple times I went, he's been spraying something new on me, and every time again, I'm like, it smells so good. So again, I finally was like, what are you spraying on me? And he was like, oh, this is what it is. And then I looked on Amazon. There's like 18 different ones. And I texted and was like, can you tell me the exact one you have? And it wasn't even Amazon. I had to order it separately. Yeah. And I ordered 2 bottles because they were so cheap. It was like $8 a bottle or $7 a bottle. It was so cheap. I assumed they were little tiny bottles. So I ordered 2. No, they're like 16-ounce bottles. They're big. It smells Christ. So good, though. I don't know. I figure if I'm going to look like shit, I might as well smell good. You know,
just your own little level of defiance.
Yeah.
A weird little update. So my wife, I guess she misunderstood like our level of sarcasm, and we were having a conversation last night, and I meant our level as in you and I.
Yeah.
And
no, I know what you meant.
She was being smugly telling me a story about like what's going on with like an aftermath of the vote for the library in this area.
Yeah.
And she's like glaring at me in a weird way, but she's telling me the story. And I'm kind of like reading her body language and like, bitch, what did I do wrong now? And she's telling me, you know, they tried to go to another library, but they didn't accept them and they gave them the runaround. And it was like, well, it caused the fact that it was voted down, and people started going to this other library, that it caused the government to investigate, and they found out like out of I think 75 libraries or something like that, or 45 libraries out of 45 out of like the 60 that were participating in this are gonna back out because they were charging for people to get library cards, and that's illegal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So out of that whole group, there were some that. Yeah, you're not allowed to charge. There's tax dollars that pay for that.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't then charge somebody.
So since the library was voted down, that got investigated. So instead, the libraries backed out. So now our area has little to no access to a library, even if we pay.
So that's actually an update on what I just, because 2 nights ago, I had checked out a book for my daughter. And it was coming up for renewal, and I went into a digital book. I went into the app and tried to renew it, and it wouldn't let me. And then I found out that I guess as of now, our library cards. So we get our library cards through the one local city, and then because we have it through the local city, we're supposed to have access to the whole group. Apparently, our library cards are going to be accepted still at that one local library, but not at all the other libraries in the system. And you also no longer have access to the digital libraries. Mm-hmm. So basically our library access is now gone unless we want to go over to the one in the local city that we can use.
Yes.
So which 90% of the books I take out, I've been doing digitally. I mean, I go and take out physical books too, but a lot of them I just do digitally because I do a lot of audiobooks too. And those I just do visually. It's just easier. So yeah, apparently our library access is revoked. I don't know if you've checked out the local Facebook groups, but yeah, they're like everybody's screaming about it. Everybody's screaming about
Facebook,
it.
So I don't.
Well, I mean, I brought this up months ago, and I posted something about it, and nobody cared really. They were like, "Oh, that sucks." Now that the access is actually revoked, everybody's screaming. They're posting the woman I told everybody to contact 3 months ago. They're now posting her name and her email and contact her. She's the one that took it away.
Like, this is how. Preventative problems.
Yes, it is what it is. But, you know what I did?
But my wife was smugly like, look. Oh, sorry. Go on. Finish.
No, I interrupted. Well, I was just to say, my brother went and got a library card for me because he lives in one of the cities, and I'm just going to use his card.
Yeah.
Because you can use the self-checkout machines at the actual physical library. So if I want to get physical books, I'll just go use that. Not that they care anyway. I'll just give the library card at the front desk. They don't know the difference. They don't know I'm not him. So anyway,
Yeah.
so whatever. I'm just going to circumvent
my
the
wife was
system.
being all smug telling me about that. And I was like, yeah, that's terrible. She went, yeah, especially because people voted it down. And she was looking at me. I was like, yeah. And not looking at me, like how you would look at somebody you're talking to, but like with this smug look on her face. I went, yeah, that's why I voted for it. She went, oh, you did? I went, yes, I voted for the library. She's like, oh, because the way you and Matt talk, no, he didn't vote for it. I went, yes, he did.
Yeah,
Did you listen to the podcast? We were being sarcastic the entire time.
Yeah, we were being very sarcastic about it.
But we were for it. And I even went on a diatribe about why, like, the people who are voting it down simply are just being selfish and thinking about how it affects them specifically,
right?
Not everyone else around them.
Well,
and she went, oh, well, it's... She was like, oh, well. And I was like, did I win an argument?
You won.
I was like,
well, it is what it is. At this point, I guess that's just it. We just don't have library access. Again, I feel like they're spiting themselves by, turning away a group of people that actually want to use the library, which is just
and
stupid.
Granted, the libraries were doing something legal to, I guess, keep the taxes down or whatever their reasonings for doing that was.
Right.
But it gained access, and it wouldn't have to happen if we had a fucking library.
It wouldn't. But
the taxes would go up. With all of us, it'd be fine.
It wasn't supposed to be much. But again, I don't think in our area, I really don't think the people that voted no, I'm pretty sure the majority of them voted no because they just don't care or they don't think libraries are necessary, not because they already had access through this other system. So I think
we don't even pay our firefighters, and we don't have a police station. So, apparently we don't give a fuck.
No,
all of our we have two fire departments, and they're both voluntary.
Yeah, we have volunteer. We have volunteer.
Volunteer. That's what I meant. I'm like, that's terrifying, especially because volunteer firefighters aren't supposed to go into fires.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, it's such a huge fucking liability to have a volunteer firefighter go into a fire.
Well, I've seen both. Well, both. I think firefighter and ambulance. There's signs all over the place around here that are like desperately needed. I've thought about doing it, and then I just keep thinking I don't think I could make myself available the amount of time they would need to like. I
thought about it too.
Be able to say like, yeah, I can definitely 100% be there because I don't know what's going on with the kids and stuff. But anyway, yeah, it sucks. It sucks because so as of now, it seems like we don't have library access, so I'll have to go back to either pirating books or using my brother's card or something like that. I don't know. It just sucks. I mean, honestly, the books I really want, I buy, like the authors I really like. I just bought an ebook from an author I really like. I just bought a physical copy of a book from an author I really like because it's a sequel and the first book was so fucking good. I bought the second one. Actually bought a physical copy and the ebook. So I was like, I'll switch back and forth. I'm actually reading it now. It came out a couple months ago. But anyway, yeah, it all sucks. I mean, it's just local politics. It is what it is. Not much we can do about it.
And another question, I have an update question for you. Did you look at any of the videos regards to Cyrax?
Oh, no. I didn't after the last time we talked about it.
Okay.
I did not end up, I kept, I think I subscribed to the channel, but I haven't actually browsed through it
yet. I'm just going to give a quick recap.
It's actually funny though, because I've been going down YouTube rabbit holes at night lately. I watched, don't ask me why.
This is a rabbit hole kind of worth going down.
Well, a couple nights in a row, I watched like a couple dozen wrestling videos for no reason. It was like 10 things that WWE won't let you do. 10 times WWE wrestlers got injured. Like I just kept, and I don't even watch the WWE, but I just kept watching those videos. I don't know. I found them interesting. But anyway, go ahead.
One of his harassers, who's like his main harasser, intercepted a Xbox Series X he was supposed to get.
Okay.
And they didn't like illegally do it. He told the person that sent it, like, this guy like hits on little kids, and they rerouted it to him. And he was like, well, I have the Xbox Series X. Why don't you race me? Because apparently Cyrax is a big Forza player, quote unquote. And he was like, you call yourself
race in the game. I thought you meant like physically.
Oh no, Cyrax doesn't drive. Cyrax doesn't drive. He talks shit but does not drive.
I thought you meant like running. I just watched. I've been watching the back catalog of Seinfeld, and I just watched the one where Jerry races his friend from high school.
Seinfeld reference?
I don't know. It's just fresh in my mind. Jerry had a foot race with this guy in this episode, and when you said race, I just immediately went to, they're going to race each other down the street.
Well, I mean, that would be hilarious too. So, Marty, who's the harasser, is making fun of him, and Cyrax is calling himself the Drift King. He got Cyrax so angry that Cyrax made a comment saying, "I'll race you! I'll fucking race you!" Which is what he sounds like in my head. Like, that's probably what he actually sounds like.
That's what he sounds like in my head, because I've only ever heard you do it.
I heard that one video. And so he's like, "Fuck you, Marty! I'll fucking beat you in Forza!" And then, like, came back an hour later.
Sounds like Rick Sanchez. Fuck you, Marty! Come on, Marty!
Yeah, it does.
Oh, jeez, Rick!
Oh, God! Oh, gee! Oh, God!
I'm not going to do that because my wife makes fun of my Rick and Morty impressions all the time, because they're terrible. And they are.
Yeah, I'm sure mine are terrible as well. But yeah, he is, like, coming back an hour later, going back on his word, going, you have to beat the best to be the best. Like, I'm not going to race you because you're nobody. So then he was like, well, you forfeited, so I'm the Drift King now. So Cyrax ended up getting another pay pig or something to get him an Xbox Series S, and Marty's been harassing him to race him.
Again, this is online. This is all
online. This
Forza.
motherfucker is so terminally online that he just can't.
Forza 5, is it? Is that the latest one?
I don't know which Forza. I'm not a Forza player. I'm really like, I recognize that it's a beautiful game that I will be totally bored playing.
Oh yeah, I can't get Gran Turismo. I can't get behind. I get how amazing they are.
Need for Speed is a game I can really get into,
but that's
I
more
can't play the newer
style.
ones. I can't play. Yeah, that's the thing. It's arcade. It's not real.
Yeah.
But I drive a real car. Yes, I don't race that real car, but I wouldn't be playing fucking video games if I wanted full realism.
Yeah,
personally, I mean, there's a difference between a game and a simulator.
Yeah.
But or for me, one of my favorite racing, quote unquote, racing games is Burnout. That's my favorite series.
Burnout was good.
Burnout was so fucking good.
I think Burnout, the 360 era. Those were good.
God.
Those were really good.
Which I got something on that really quick after I finish this. So he harasses him to play it.
Tangents.
Cyrax keeps changing, like moving the goalpost. He's like, "No, play me on this game," because Marty went out and bought the game. He's like, "Okay, I'm ready to race." He's like, "No, you can't. I'm not going to race you. Race me in this game." So
wait, but he had never played the game before, and he was going to race him anyway. He never played it.
Marty he's just like, "I'm a better player than you, and I can be better than you, knowing very little about the game. You've been playing for years, and you suck." And I mean, looking at Marty play the game and the footage Marty put up and the footage Cyrax put up, yeah, Marty plays like a standard, like I would play the game.
Right.
And Cyrax is constantly like going into the grass. He's like, "But that's drifting. I'm a drifter."
Drifting
like,
into the grass.
Drift in grass.
Even I know that.
So, because that's literally the equivalent of a wet fart. You're just shitting up from your tires. So he's going forward, and he finally gives up. He's like, "Can you stop harassing me?" And he's like, "What do you want from me?" And Marty quite literally goes, "I want accountability, and I want you to take responsibility, accountability for your and accountability for your actions." And which Cyrax will go like, "I already did that. I already did that in my past. Like you're lying right now. Take accountability for lying. Take accountability for talking to underage people. Take accountability for hitting your grandmother. You're a fucking monster, and get help for that." And Marty, like, he said it flat out, and he just couldn't do it. And so a little while later, after that, Cyrax goes, "You know what? You're the Drift King." He finally like breaks down and kind of gives in to his delusion and says, "You're the Drift King as long as you leave me alone." He couldn't do it without flipping him off, but he did it.
You're the Drift King.
Drift King, stupid fucking title. And he's like, will it end now? Will it end? And Marty goes, so why are you talking to this new 15-year-old girl? And you see the blood drain from Cyrax's face when Marty puts up the screenshot that he had with this girl who messaged him, because essentially Marty is Cyrax's Tard Wrangler. He's just blocking him every chance he gets. And he was on a 3-hour FaceTime call, which Cyrax with a face like that, I don't know why he's so obsessed with being on cam.
Yeah.
But he's on with
wear a mask.
With this with this underage girl. Well, no, because if he wears a mask, his own bad breath will go back into his face, and he doesn't want to breathe that.
Ew.
You've had a moment where you're like wearing a mask or something.
Oh yeah, of course.
You're like, oh, now imagine that being your breath.
We had COVID times where we had masks on all the time. I mean, you're
very
constantly
true.
smelling your own breath.
Sweat too much.
Yeah,
It's just wet, but you can't take it off.
Walking around, you're like, what does that smell? What does that smell? Oh,
it's my face.
It's my face sweating into this mask. What is the deal with like skeezy dudes and underage girls? Like, I think I've told you about my friend. We've talked about this on the podcast. Yeah. My friend that got arrested for trying to solicit what he thought was a 14-year-old girl, but turned out to be an undercover cop.
I happen to think, besides it being a mental disorder, and I think I said it before with that, is that they mentally have not... Because a lot of people who act like this seem to not have grown up past a certain age.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
They're stuck in the mindset of, like... You know how some people, like, if they had a crush on a girl in high school, so they still have a crush on that girl... even if it's 30 or 40 years later, despite them probably not looking the same, or them both being they both look a certain way, they don't look how they did then, but instead that person is obsessed with but instead taking it as being obsessed with that specific person, taking it as, no, they're obsessed with that person in that time frame.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So anything that reflects that time frame in their life is what they are attracted to.
They're just still stuck in that.
That's what my theory is, because they also seem to lack a heavy level of maturity. And
that's always the case. Absolutely.
And no one's more of a know-it-all than a teenager.
That's true. It's very true.
So if they're stuck there, they pretty much they just gravitate to that.
No, that makes sense. I can't think of any other reasonable explanation other than that. I mean, that really does make sense. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of sad. It makes me sad. It's terrible, but it makes very sad. It makes me sad to think about.
And I understand people that believe, like, kill all pedophiles. I completely understand. If somebody touched my kids, I would lose my shit and want them dead. Personally.
If somebody did anything like that to one of my kids, I'd be in jail.
Yes, but I feel like people like that seriously need to be studied.
I think, any aberrations or anomalies need to be studied, period. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you 100%.
It's preventative.
But I'm thinking about my friend, and I think I told you, like, he was dating a girl at the time that was, I think she was in her early 20s. Mm-hmm. She may have been 19, 20, but she was of age, and she was very pretty. She was cool. And I'm just like, what are you doing? I don't know.
I have two friends. Well, when they're not friends, they were friends at some point in my life. At this point, they're like past acquaintances because I barely talk to them. That we always thought it was weird. Like, our group always thought it was weird. And mind you, these are two separate groups, and they were all ladies' men type of guys. That would date girls like they're from like 18 to 19 and up. So they didn't go like for young girls, but it was always fucking weird that no matter how old we got, 19 was still on the table. It's not wrong, but
no, it's not wrong, but it's like weird.
And the thing is, and this is what had me get that mentality, like, about like people who are skeevy guys that are after girls that young, is that both dudes weren't very mature when they were doing that. They were very immature when doing stuff like that.
Well, because if you think about it, I don't know about you, but for me, like, the idea of dating a girl who's 18 or 19 or even 20, I could. And it, like, I mean, people would probably be like, okay, dude, you're robbing the cradle, but it would be fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't because of that, just that, the maturity level. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to tolerate somebody that's that immature.
That's my thought process. Like, I'm not grossed out by it, but like people making fun of Leonardo DiCaprio, fine, make fun of him.
It doesn't gross me out at all.
But
like,
it doesn't gross me out.
If that's what you want to do, that's cool. It's just I couldn't do it. The maturity level would be wrong.
There was a video I saw, and the comment section was always the fucking problem, that I thought was hilarious because there was a comedian, he was talking to a woman. He was like, when was the last time you did the deed? And it was like a woman, she was like in probably her 60s.
Okay.
And he was like, what was the youngest you've done the deed with? And she said 23. And he was like, 23? Holy shit. How did you pull that? It was like my grandson's friend.
Okay.
And everybody was praising her. And, you know, the comment section, the first thing you want to fucking see is somebody go, well, if it was a man. I was like, okay, but one, that's super fucking common to like see outwardly.
Sure.
So to see a woman do it, is it wrong either way? No. This shouldn't be a conversation.
No.
It's funny.
No, I agree.
It's weird, but it's not wrong. Well, I mean, they're both consenting adults at that point.
I was just going to say, I think
I don't care if it's a 30-year gap at that point.
I think you and I both look at that and a lot of things the same way. Like, if you're a consenting adult or if you're an adult and you make that choice, do whatever the fuck you want. Go for it.
And apparently, according to our laws, if you're old enough to fucking die for your country at 19, you're fucking old enough to fuck a 60-year-old. I don't give a shit.
I don't know. If that's what you want to do, go for it. I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Maturity-wise,
there's a difference between fucking and dating and being in a relationship too, though. So
I just don't see a relationship working out like that.
No,
I just don't.
I can't.
I barely get along with people my age.
I mean, we watch a lot. We watch too much 90 Day Fiance, so we
you watch too much 90 Day Fiance.
No, actually, I have sworn off 90 Day Fiance. There's a new season of one of the spinoffs. I don't even know which one it was. Started like a month or two ago. And my wife and I were sitting there one day, and I was like, there's a new season of that. And she was like, all right. And I was like, you know what? No, fuck this. I was like, I'm not watching that garbage anymore. It's like, I am not filling my life and my head and my time with that shit. And I removed myself from the subreddits and everything. I was like, I'm done with that fucking garbage.
You know what's really funny? Because, I watch like people talking about it because it is funny. It's just I can't stand to watch the show.
Different. It's kind of fun to watch somebody criticize and make fun of it, you know?
Hold on, because I'm holding myself accountable to it as well. I stopped watching, and I stopped watching people talking about it because I got really exasperated with it. I love anomalies. I love weirdos. I think the last thing I saw was like they were talking about the reunion and how much of a shit Big Ed was being. But I was so tired of the cyclical. They're together. They break up. He cheats. He gaslights. She gets angry. She says stupid shit. Everyone stupidly gets into everyone's business, and then it happens again.
There's that, and so much of
resolution.
So much of it, there's just no way all this shit actually happens. It's just impossible. So much of it, whether it's scripted or whether it's the individuals on the show just like doing whatever to keep themselves interesting and keep the drama going and keep the audience engaged. I don't know which it is, but it's so fucking irritating. I was like, I'm done with it. I don't need to fill myself.
Yeah, it's self-perpetuating.
I try to read a lot. I try to fill my time with useful things, but those are hours that I'm just killing.
Well, here's the thing. I believe that there is a space for junk and stupid shit. That's why I watch things about people like Cyrax and stuff like that. I think it's intriguing. It stimulates a part of my brain that makes me kind of think of things. Like there are things out here, instead of being afraid, like, look, people are like this. Maybe there's a way you could think about it outside of the knee-jerk reaction of the sideshow. Right. Or the freak show, or however you want to put it. But Jesus fucking Christ, when it's televised and it's in the mainstream, it is nonstop, and it most of it's fake. So there's brain simulation there.
I was gonna say there's a difference too. It's produced, it's overproduced. A lot of it's fake. I don't know. It's just I don't want to be the one perpetuating that shit anymore. I actually have an interesting question for you. You mentioned you watch videos of people reacting to that. I saw it might have actually been a couple weeks ago now. I saw a reaction video to a YouTube channel that I liked. So one of the YouTube Pitch Meeting. I love the Pitch Meeting YouTube channel.
Oh, Pitch Meeting is pretty good. I know what you're talking about.
But in my feed came up a person reacting to a Pitch Meeting video, and I saw it and I went, "So wait a minute,
reaction channel?
Your fucking content
you finally got introduced. You got introduced to a reaction channel?
I mean, I've seen them now and then, but I looked at it, but I'm just thinking like, so your channel is you watch somebody else's YouTube content and react to it? What do? Laugh and be like, "Oh, that was really funny."
Okay, so
and I don't know why, but I don't understand why there's a difference to me between somebody reacting to 90 Day Fiance, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's cool, that's funny," and somebody reacting to a Pitch Meeting video or some other YouTube content.
Okay,
online.
So it's a thin line. So, for instance, I'll bring up 3. The first one would be a reaction channel that reacts to a movie trailer.
I'm okay with that.
What are you going to add to that?
You might not add anything, but I'm okay with that. That's fine.
But that's just reaction. Fine. So usually reaction channels who react to a trailer will then do like things that you might have missed, or they might stop it and talk about something.
I've seen stuff like that. That makes perfect sense.
And it's a reaction and analysis. Then there's a second one that's a reaction to reality television shows or people, like anomalies and things online.
And I get those too because like people make jokes, they laugh about it, they nitpick things.
They're the same thing, and they act as an introduction for people to
sure. And I get that too. I think that's totally fine.
Then there's the one that this is the one that made me like dislike Hassan Abbey or Hassan Piker or whatever the fuck he's going by. He's a live streamer who does reactions, but doesn't really do any of that stuff. This man will literally stream other videos for hours, get up, eat, go take a shit or a piss while the video is just playing. So you're just simply watching the video and paying him.
Yeah, that's just fucking dumb.
That is a waste of fucking time.
Well, I didn't watch the video when it came up, but in my head, I'm like, well, what is he doing? Is he just watching and going like, oh, yeah, that's a good joke. Oh, yeah, that's funny. Oh, that's cool the way he did that. Oh, that's funny. Oh, he's so right.
They all add one thing. They make you feel like you're with a friend. If you like that person and if you're lonely as shit.
Okay.
It helps. And I don't mean like you're thinking about it. You're just like, man, I love this guy. It's the same people who go to bat for these fuckers that they don't know.
I guess. I don't know. In my head, all I could think of was like, what kind of piece of shit? You're just taking somebody else's content they made for YouTube and then putting your face next to it while it's playing. Like, fuck you piece of shit.
That's the third type. And if that is what they were doing, that's the problem.
Yeah, so, okay.
That reaction channels, there's a huge fucking debate online about that's been going on for years, and it's probably not going to go anywhere.
I don't know. It's just fucking
no matter how much evidence it anyway, because they're not all the same. One of the most popular YouTubers is Moist Critical. He goes by Moist Critical, but everybody knows him as Charlie. He made a comic book. He's super rich because of YouTube and whatever else he does. He has a band, which all of his band are like, they say the lyrics he uses are the grossest fucking things, and you would fucking love it. I think
I'm gonna have to check that out.
If you look up Moist Critical Boyfriend, I think is one of my favorite ones.
All right, I'll check it
out. But he's a reaction channel. That's what he does. But what Charlie does, he gives you an introduction. He then talks about it. He stops it a lot to talk about what he saw and adds really colorful, hilarious commentary.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with all that.
I don't mind.
Yeah, I'm fine with all that.
And I'm gonna probably lose my black card here, because there's a lot of reaction channels made by the black community, quote unquote, that are just literally watching the video and going, "Yo, that's crazy! That shit's crazy!" and then they continue it. They don't add shit to it.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny, but so much of it.
I mean, it's making me laugh thinking about it, but...
Yeah, if you want the movie theater hype, then that would be an amazing reaction channel. Just playing a movie, but giving you the black theater experience. That would be fucking amazing. Now that I think about it, oh my god, I would love that shit. Just get all my family members and friends together. Like we're all together and watch horror movies.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
That'd be so... Like, yo... Why the fuck would you go in there?
Don't go in there, bitch! What are you doing, bitch?
That would be amazing, and it would actually be a good reaction channel, in my opinion.
Yeah, but that's adding a humor element to it. You're adding something to it, not just like anyway.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Should I talk GPT for a couple seconds here, or
no? We're gonna be way over time.
Oh no, I don't have time now.
I mean, it is almost.
Well, you know what? It's gonna take me 2 seconds here to just recap. I'm not going to get into it because let me just. Why am I wasting time by stuttering and mumbling here?
I don't know.
I was going to talk about the fact that one of the things I was playing with ChatGPT was I asked it to write a Seinfeld episode, right? I said, write an outline for a Seinfeld episode about George wanting to contact Heather Locklear on Twitter. And it gave me a complete outline, act by act, that was a coherent story. Made perfect sense, and was easily could have been turned into a script. I asked it to turn it into a script. It did turn it into a script. Probably needed touch-ups, was missing some elements.
You need to edit it.
Yeah, but it was coherent. Anyway, I was going to talk more about that until maybe a week or so ago. Have you seen? And there was previously an Infinite Seinfeld episode, AI powered Twitch channel. Did you hear about that?
No.
All right. Well, that got shut down because the AI, I think it made a trans joke or something, and it got shut down. Which I don't understand because it's AI. Well, I mean, it's AI, right? So the AI is going to. I know.
Sorry, go on.
I thought it was kind of silly because I'm like, look, it's AI. It's not some dude out there bashing trans people. It's AI that generated this joke. And I don't even remember what the joke was. So anyway, but that's not important. There's a new one that all it does is generate infinite episodes of the Simpsons Steamed Ham episode. Do you remember that episode of Simpsons?
That's terrifying.
So the gist of every episode is Superintendent Chalmers shows up at Principal Skinner's house. Mm-hmm. Principal Skinner introduces himself and tells him what he's making for dinner. Principal Skinner realizes he burned whatever he was making and tries to figure out what to do to replace it. He tries to present the meal to Superintendent Chalmers, and Superintendent Chalmers realizes it's not what he intended. And Superintendent Chalmers then realizes the house is on fire, and then he leaves. That's every episode, but every time it runs through, and it takes maybe 5 minutes for it to run through, AI generates a whole new script. So the episode might start off and Chalmers shows up and Skinner goes, hello. And it's a pretty decent voice for each of them too, that matches the actual character voice. It's I'm making Greek pasta salad for dinner, Superintendent Chalmers. And then he gets in the kitchen and goes, oh no, I burned it. What am I going to do to replace this? Let me try replacing it with these Latin spices. It's crazy every time. And then Chalmers sees the fire, and then Skinner tries to come up with an excuse. One time he was like, that's not a fire, it's just a tsunami. Don't worry about the tsunami. It's fucking hilarious. I think if you got really, really stoned and watched it, it would be even better. I think if you got high, you could just sit there and watch it for 6 hours. But dude, it's fucking
Watching
great.
It on psychedelics.
But I was going to talk more about how ChatGPT generated a script, but somebody literally set up an AI that all it does is generate a new script every 5 minutes and runs through and animates it.
What's terrifying about that to me? I swear AI is just going to open up the quantum realm. And
it's possible.
Infinite possibilities of one event.
Athene, maybe his name is. There's another Twitch streamer that does AI talk shows, and he has AI video representations with audio that sounds like them, and he'll ask them a question, and the AI person, which it looks like a real video, answers the question in the voice of whoever it is he has on. He had Schwarzenegger, Carl Sagan, Steve Carell. He's done a bunch of them. It's fucking crazy.
2 days ago, I saw an episode of it was an AI created episode of The Angry Video Game Nerd.
Okay.
Talking about, I wish I could remember the game. It was a modern game, like a retro style modern game,
right?
That he never did.
That's crazy.
And only I wish I didn't read that it was AI first, because the comment showed difference. Because I feel like I could pick out sometimes when it wasn't him,
sure,
and sometimes it would inflect weird. But
right,
that was oh my god. This is a deep cut.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's one floating around out there where somebody did a totally AI generated version of Joe Rogan's podcast with him talking to, I think, Elon Musk, and it was all AI generated. The voices on both sides of the script. You can go into ChatGPT and say, "Tell me about this sounding like Bill Burr," and it'll say like, "I can't impersonate him, but I can." Generally, it says some warning, like I can't impersonate him, but I can
like write the way he was
write in a similar way, and it'll write it, and you can read it, and you're like, yeah, that could sound like Bill Burr. Anyway, it's fucking crazy. AI's nuts. I don't want to talk much more about it anyway because John Oliver on his show just this past weekend did a show on AI and talked all about ChatGPT and Stable Diffusion. Is that the right name? Yeah, and Midjourney, the AI image generators. And it was a great episode.
The demo of Midjourney.
Dude, they're amazing. But it's a great episode, and it talks really well about these AI and what they can do and what they can't do and where they're going and what they're going to do. And it was funny because I think I talked about it on the last podcast where I said, like, hey, it looks like it's coming after these, like, desk jobs instead of these, like, you know, trucker jobs and manual labor jobs. And he said the same thing. He said, it's the white-collar jobs that it looks like it's going to take over, not the blue-collar jobs.
Which
I was
actually,
like, I said that! When the episode was on, I was like, I said that! But, yeah, check that out if you guys haven't seen it. It was a great episode.
I'll look into it.
All right, let's get going.
It's time to begin the complaining.
All right, so this is actually one of the first topics I came up with when I first thought of possibly doing this, like forever ago. Today we're going to talk about pescatarians. Pescatarians, that is...
And it ties into what we were talking about in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, that is those who have a vegetarian diet but also include fish. And this was one of the first things I thought of because I was just trying to think of things that bothered me that were silly. That I didn't actually make me angry, but I just thought were silly. And pescatarians, I think, are silly. Because if you're a vegetarian, which is totally cool, or if you're vegan, because you are for the ethical treatment of animals, or you don't like the way the animals are treated, or whatever the case may be, why the fuck aren't fish included then? Make up your fucking mind, dude. Are you going to not eat meat, or are you going to eat meat? You can't be wishy-washy in the middle and be like, I'm going to eat fish, because those motherfuckers have feelings too, okay? They have feelings.
Maybe
did you ever have a pet fish?
You could have a mercury deficiency, I guess.
Have you ever had a pet fish, Joaquin? Did you have a pet fish when you were growing up?
I've had several pet fish.
Yeah, me too. I've had fish. You know what? I would feel bad eating those little boys.
If you keep them long enough and they live long enough, they will remember you.
Yeah, see? So how come it's okay to be like, you know what? I'm going to eat fish. Fish is okay to eat. I'm okay with that. Is the fishing industry just as bad? Like they catch fish in these giant fucking nets and they're all... pull them out of the water and they're all fucking suffocating out of the water.
Okay, look, I have to say that the life of a fish is terrifying because everything eats you. Just
sure, okay.
No, everything. Everything fucking eats you.
What
Not
if you're
everything
a big
can
fish?
eat you. Not everything. Oh, you mean like a whale? Then the Japanese will hunt you down to extinction.
Whales are mammals.
Are mammals? Fuck you. If you have fins and you are in the water primarily, I'm considering you a fish.
I agree. I hate when people do that.
It's not a fish.
No, a whale is not a fish. It's a mammal. Fuck you. It's in the ocean. It swims in the ocean, and it looks like a fish. I don't care if it
like a fish.
Births young. It looks and acts like a fish. You know the old saying, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck? Well, if it looks like a fish and it acts like a fish, it's a fucking fish.
A fucking fish. And I'm sorry, somebody brought this up to me, they didn't bring it up to me specifically, but it was in a conversation that I was reading, and I didn't think about this. How terrifying, like the process of which it is to kill a whale. And I didn't look at the process of it, but they're huge, right?
Whales? Okay, just a side note. Whales fucking terrify me. Have I mentioned how scared I am of the ocean?
No, but it's probably as much as I am.
Yeah, the ocean terrifies me. It is probably the one thing in the world that I am really scared of. I
try to stay away from the ocean as much as possible.
Everything about it. The idea of being out in the middle of the ocean with nothing around me but water terrifies me. The idea of everything that's under you and you don't even know what's down there and it goes down for miles is fucking terrifying.
Now imagine being a fucking fish.
Yeah.
That is fucking terrifying.
That's true.
And I'm sorry, as a child, the game Echo the Dolphin terrified me.
I get it.
It was so scary. They stayed really true to the depths are the fucking depths.
Yeah, it's creepy.
And if you're out in the air too long, you die. And now I think if I'm in the ocean, I'm going to hear that creepy, farty Sonic Sega Master System sound while I'm out in the ocean. And some type of water aquatic xenomorph is going to get me.
Yeah.
Like, I am terrified
me
of
too.
the ocean. Like you are.
I mean, have you seen some of the shit that comes out of the ocean? How fucking terrifying looking they are?
There are creatures so deep in the ocean that they disintegrate soon as light touches them.
Oh, it's crazy.
That is. And
have you ever been to the Museum of Natural History?
Yes.
You know the blue whale exhibit?
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't go in that room. And I'm talking like
really?
As an adult.
Holy shit.
I won't go in that room.
Okay.
They have a life-size blue whale, and it's fucking terrifying to see how big that motherfucker is.
I'm scared of spiders, but if it's like a taxidermized spider, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah, spiders don't bother me. I
am fucking terrified of spiders.
I mean, I don't like them. I wouldn't pick them up and be like,
no, you don't get it. Like, if a spider disappears in my house, I have to summon like my ancestors to not be afraid and be the man in my house.
What about snakes?
Okay, it's weird because I'm not scared of snakes. I'm not scared of the idea of snakes. But if I see a snake, it will surprise me.
Yeah,
I
me
will
too.
Jump at seeing a snake.
I have them in the side of my yard.
Me.
Like, so if I mow down there, if I'm down there, occasionally I'll pass one and it'll freak me out. But like you said, like it'll scare me. I'll be like, oh shit, what is that? But I'm not like terrified, like snake.
I think it's just the motion of the slither that freaks me out.
It's
like
weird, right? There's actually a rock over in my side yard on a little hill, and it's this kind of big rock that I can't move, so I have to weed whack around it. And there's a snake that lives under it. So when I go over to weed whack, I have to wait. Like I kind of get over there and see if he comes out. Because if he's in there, he sticks his head out and starts sticking his tongue out at me. I'm like, I'll leave you alone. Go over here.
Yeah, I accidentally wounded. I don't know if I killed it, but I accidentally wounded a snake in my backyard.
Oh, I've run over a snake with my lawnmower. Yeah,
and I felt really fucking bad.
I did too, and I was like, I don't know why I feel bad. They're creepy and weird, and they could be dangerous. I don't know what kind of snake it was.
In my mind, it might be handling the mice that get into my house.
That's true. That's a good point. Actually, the one is pretty close to my basement, so that's what I figure. I'm like, maybe he's killing mice for me. I don't know. But wow, we're way off topic already.
With whaling, like. Okay, the reason why it even came up, I think, is because I was looking up something for D&D.
Okay.
And they were talking about large creatures and like how much it would have to hurt them, and then it kind of equated it to whales. Like whales, you have to hurt a lot. Yeah. There is no painless way to kill a whale because of how big they are.
Yeah, we don't have anything big enough to just kill it in one shot. I mean, to us, it's like having a fucking needle jabbed into your arm, hitting with a harpoon, I bet.
Right? Exactly. That is fucking just awful.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
In my mind.
It's crazy.
So when I put it out like no aquatic creature is safe because most of the planet's creatures exist in the water.
That's true.
So from microscopic to gigantic all exist in the water.
Right. Yep.
And everything eats everything down there. And now they have assholes up here eating them.
Wait. So you are agreeing with me about pescatarians? Or are you saying?
Oh no!
Fuck fish. They're gonna get eaten anyway.
I didn't think about it like that. I was just talking about how terrifying being a fish would generally just be. Because
I don't want. I'm gonna have a nightmare.
Moving the goalpost,
right?
Moving the goalpost and be like, I really like fish sticks. So
you like fish sticks? What are you, a gay fish? You set yourself up. Speaking, have you watched the new South Park episodes?
Huh?
Have you watched any of the new South Park episodes?
No.
So fucking good.
Really?
I haven't been crazy about South Park the last probably 5+ years. Dude, I've only watched the first two. There's a third one out now too. The first two, classic South Park, just ridiculous. Funny fucking shit.
I'm very specific about South Park episodes.
The first one was about it was making fun of Kanye, where Cartman had a little Cupid Yee, he called it.
Oh God, because he had Jennifer. Oh God,
that was trying to get him to be anti-Semitic. It was fucking hilarious, and was shooting arrows to make people anti-Semitic. You have to watch it. And the second episode was about it wasn't Princess Harry and Meghan Markle specifically. It was a Canadian prince and princess that were them, clearly them, just completely obliterating the two of them. Like, you fucking idiots keep talking about how you want privacy and you hate journalists, but you're going on all these television shows and on talk shows and going all over the place. And he's like, there's one great scene where they're getting interviewed, and he's like, so you don't like journalists? And the Prince Harry's like, yeah, fuck journalists. I fucking hate journalists. They don't fucking leave us alone. He's like, but you wrote a book. And he's like, yeah, I wrote a book. And he's like, so you're a journalist. It's so fucking funny. You gotta watch it. Anyway. So good. Yeah, I can't emphasize enough.
I really feel like if they didn't say, I am this, but I kind of do this. Like, no. You are something completely different, which I think they tried to do when calling themselves Pescatarian.
You know, maybe I'm missing the mark completely.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm
sorry.
Maybe Pescatarians, there is no ethical element. They just prefer to eat vegetables and fish. They just don't like chicken or beef.
Which, I mean...
Like, I don't like pork, but I'm not like, I'm a beef and I don't know. I don't know.
You're Muslim.
Apparently I'm Muslim, yes.
No, it's weird because everybody's so quick to like label what they are and what they do instead of just saying this. Like, they're not saying, well, this is my lifestyle and I'm alive and this is just the lifestyle I lead. They say, this lifestyle is me.
That's true.
So when people are so quick to do that, like my introduction to a vegetarian, because as a kid, I thought vegetarians were just fucking weirdos.
Right. I mean, that was kind of what it was when we were kids, though. It was just like, you only eat vegetables? You're fucking weirdo. Like, that's just what it was.
I had a friend whose mom was a vegetarian. He wasn't.
Right.
And she was one of the nicest people, not in like the church lady kind of nice, when people use that term. I mean, like, she didn't bring it up. Right. I didn't notice until, like, I think I was hanging out for a few months. And I was like 8, but she was my introduction to that. I'm like, oh, okay, so vegetarians are they just choose not to eat meat. Fine, there's more for me. I don't care. And as time went on, my initial establishment was like, oh, vegetarians are assholes, because a lot of them are. And then I was like, oh, no. Someone went, no, those are vegans. And I was like, what?
Yeah,
and
you're
right.
Like,
no, they're moral vegans.
There was kind of like a segue where it was like, oh, vegetarianism is like not weird anymore. Vegans are the weird ones.
Vegans are the weird ones.
Yeah.
And then vegans went, no, we're not the weird ones. There's the moral vegans and vegetarians. And I was like, what's that? It was like, well, they think that, killing animals is wrong. The PETA types.
Right.
And I went, oh, okay. We're animals, though. But we know better. You sure that they don't know better? Have you talked to a dog and asked if they knew better? And just cared, didn't give a shit?
PETA kind of takes it to an extreme, though, because they're against even the I don't even want to say exploitation. Like, they're like, oh, you shouldn't have a dog in a commercial. Which is PETA, like, what's wrong with having a dog in a fucking commercial? Yeah. You're not hurting the dog.
They're no different than the vegan teacher. They do it for publicity. Right. They don't. Yeah, that's true. They can say all they want. Like, what was it recently? Because Rihanna was on the Super Bowl, they gave her like a fake fur coat because they noticed she was wearing a real one or whatever.
Okay.
And I was like, first of all, unless you got up to touch it or to read it, how would you know? Or you were stalking her and went through her garbage and found
you wouldn't know the difference.
How would you fucking know if it was real or not?
Right.
But even then, so you get her a fake one. She already has the real one. The fucking animal has been
it's already
slain.
Dead. It's already dead. Yeah.
So you're just keeping her from buying a new one? I don't fucking get it. Are you showing her that there are alternatives? The bitch is rich enough to be able to tell, like, if she wants a real one or not. But regardless if that's the case or not, PETA has put down animals that didn't need to be put down countless times.
Oh, no, I know. So you're absolutely right.
Like, what the fuck are you going? So the moral aspect is a fault in our humanity. Our brains down. We're all a form of retarded. Offense could be taken if you want to take it, because we're all, I mean it offensively, we are all stupid to a degree.
We are all stupid.
And our logic, and not even, I don't even mean to say stupid. I mean to say, like, we have a dysfunction. And when we add morality is a social construct. we socially create morality. Because what's moral for you is not necessarily moral for me. What's moral for from somebody across the fucking country, maybe, just maybe, is immoral to get pissed on to somebody.
Yeah.
But for R. Kelly, it's perfectly fine. And whoever he pisses on is perfectly fine for them to do it.
As long as they're of age.
Of age, exactly. He's been known to fuck of age women from time to time.
Once in a while. Once in a while. You know, I get, okay, just like, first off, I'll say, just like anything else in the world to me, if whatever you want to do, I couldn't care less. If you want to be a vegan, if you want to be a vegetarian, I couldn't fucking care less. Just don't preach it and push it on everybody else and let people do what they want to do. As far as like the exploitation parts go, of course, nobody wants animals to be treated poorly. Nobody wants these factory farms. Yeah, these factory farms where chickens are kept in cages with no room to move and all this other horrific shit that happens with our food sources. Nobody wants that to happen. There's nobody out there going, yes, we want that to happen. I don't think everybody going, well, we're not going to eat meat until you change it is feasible. It's not a feasible thing to think is going to work. The only way to change those things are through government regulation and laws and proper enforcement. You're not going to change it because it's not feasible to think everybody's going to go, yep, none of us are going to eat meat until they fix the problem. It's never going to fucking happen.
Or make it legal to eat people. Let's just fucking say, let's just eat everybody.
I'm just saying, it's never going to happen.
Make it free.
Like, if that's your goal, if you think they're going to fix the thing. So if you're just like, look, I can't participate in it because I can't think of those animals in those poor conditions and eat the meat and be okay with it. But I mean, like, the people that are like just totally, you know, like no animal should be killed or eaten for any purpose. I don't know. I find it hard to understand. If you look back, like early humans, like what the fuck did you think they do? They had to kill animals. Even that,
because they're right? Again, they're pushing that idea, and yeah, you're right. But it's just like, okay, asshole. So you're gonna force your will on other people who are animals to not eat. Now, I got to not eat meat because it's wrong no matter what level. So the exploitation, the capitalistic need to constantly consume isn't the problem. The problem is that we do it to begin with. So are you going to exert your will on every animal? Because if you notice, a lot of these fucking people who are individuals who are pushing their will on the mass have pets.
Sure.
Even though it's wrong, apparently, to them, are to have pets. Oh, well, you know, my cat, you know, they're on a vegan diet. We give them vegan supplemented.
Well, that shit's crazy.
Like, fuck you.
I mean, that's just fucking crazy.
You just want to exert your fucking will. Maybe it'll work for people. It does not work for animals.
No, we know for a fact that cats and dogs need to eat meat. I mean, that's just, that's their diet. They don't eat fucking plants.
It's not a conspiracy. Yeah. It's not a fucking conspiracy.
Well, those are the lunatics that do stuff like that.
My cat is literally two steps away from eating me if I lay on the floor for too long.
We've talked about it before. You got a cat and you die and you're there too long, they're going to eat you.
Your dog's going to do it too.
You're going to get eaten eventually.
Your dog hates you, so I don't know.
No, my dog loves me.
No, she's too dumb to know to hate you. She
should hate me.
I know.
You know, I brought her to the groomer the other day. She should love me, all right? You did do that. I treat her well.
Yeah, but I have a feeling you bitched her out the entire time.
No. I'm actually
like,
secretly...
come on, dumbass, get in the car.
Like, legit, I'm secretly really nice to my dog when no one's around.
I was going to make people think that you hate your dog.
No, well, one could argue that. My wife thinks I hate the dog, but I come down here at night when everybody's asleep, and I come down and I pet her and I hug her. I say goodnight to her every night. I go, night, girl, I love you, every night when I come downstairs. I just do it in secret because I don't want people to think I have a heart.
With the way she acts towards you, it's absolutely clear that you are kind to her.
Well, I don't know if it's that or it could be just that I'm the alpha and like she knows I'm the alpha.
No, because she would just be submissive to you. She wouldn't treat you the way she does.
Yeah, that's true. Like, instance, and isn't that a hoax anyway? Isn't there really not an alpha?
They do have a leadership structure, but it's not the way that we think it is. And the alpha thing was based on a debunked thing on wolves.
Right. It's actually it's usually like there's actually a pair that's not necessarily alpha, but like a couple, like a male and a female that are kind of in charge, but aren't actually alpha.
Yeah, because alpha is a stupid concept.
It is a stupid concept.
Well, you know what? No, I won't even say it's stupid. It's very basic. Like, it's basic observation. Like, you can look and go, oh, that one's a little bigger and they get to eat first.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, well, I'm rich and white and I don't want to sit in the dirt anymore, so you record this, I'm going to go sip some tea. Like, but yeah, just, I feel like the moralistic part of it is based on a flawed idea, because it's sort of like, if I get mad, like, I'm going to bring up Ghost in the Shell again. People in Japan who love Ghost in the Shell, but people in America who fucking hated it because it was racially insensitive.
Right.
To the very fucking people who didn't get who didn't get offended by it, there is a German woman who thinks she is black, who's obsessed with plastic surgery. So she got her skin darkened, her breasts are like Z sized. She looks terrifying. She looks fucking terrifying.
You ever wonder why people do that to themselves?
I don't.
That's a whole other day. That's a whole other day.
Maybe they have the same problem I have when I do character customization in video games, and I have to constantly customize the character. I can't stop doing it. Like, if I had the money to plastic surgery, that's one thing I would just never want to get close to. Even if it's just like removing a scar that I want to get rid of. No, because I'm going to become obsessed. I'm going to be constantly. By the end, I who knows? I'll look like Heather Locklear. I don't fucking know. But what I'm saying
Wait a minute.
is,
She looks like Heather Locklear. I might want to fuck you.
But what I'm saying. Well, what I'm trying to say is, like,
I'm so red now.
You really derailed what I was thinking.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to destroy your train of thought.
There's a fucking lady who did that, and she went to Africa, and they're like, the people were amazed, like, look at her, because they knew she wasn't black, but they thought, wow, from what is shown, that they were kind of flattered by it. Like, you liked what we look like so much that you changed everything about you. Yes, it's crazy. I think it's fucking insane.
Oh, it's absolutely
But she's not hurting anybody. She's not really being offensive, and she tends to like doing it. Like, that's why when people like get mad about transracialism, I can't get behind it.
Yeah, we've talked a little about that before.
It's a moralistic flaw. Yeah, it's a moralistic flaw, and that same flaw I feel like is in fucking veganism or paleo. Human, whatever the fuck we want to call it. Oh god,
the Liver King diet.
My brain is still fucking going with the Heather Locklear thing now. I should not have said that.
You shouldn't have said it, but you did.
I'm trying to ignore that because now I'm just now, like, we're gonna hang out. There's a point I'm just gonna be like, just mind my business. We'll be talking about nothing. We'll just be hanging out. And he's like, oh yeah, you see the game? I was like, yeah. And I just sit there, and like, my imagination is gonna see you looking at me and lick a glass, and my brain's I'm just gonna bleed out my face.
I just imagine just your head. Just your head is Heather Locklear.
It's just Heather Locklear.
Everything else is the same. Oh, geez.
Oh, I'm lightheaded.
Anyways, yeah, so I said anyways. Sorry. Anyway, I don't know which it is. I hear people say both. I think it's anyway.
It's both at this point.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If the lexicon requires, it can be both, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and just to be clear, I don't actually hate pescatarians or think they're stupid or anything.
No.
It was just like, it was one of the first things I thought of that I was like, I could joke about that because it's so ridiculous. Like, I can't eat those poor cows and chickens, but fuck those fish.
Ooh, fish.
They're too delicious. I can't say no.
Now I can't stop thinking about this really foppish, like, vegetarian, but sees fish and just cannot help themselves.
Secretly,
like, the nipples just get really hard and it's drooling.
Just sucking on some mackerel in the fucking closet.
Don't you judge me!
Oh, shoot.
But yeah,
I wish I could be a vegan because I know the lifestyle is way healthier. It's much better for you. Although, you know what? The same could probably be said about just eating clean and eating fresh and including meat in your diet, right?
I might be wrong, and I chances are I am. Either it's a type of mentality that leads to veganism, or veganism creates a chemical in your brain that makes you just fucking pretentious as shit. It's one or the other. I don't know at which point is the line crossed, but I very extremely rarely met a vegan that isn't just up their own butt about something. Like, I mean, like really up their own butt. Like, you know, the people that like have really hard boundaries.
Yes.
But it's not in like a, you know, a safety kind of way. Like I've been treated or in this situation, so it bothers me. So
right.
Just so you know, I'm not going to try to be a dick about it, but I feel uncomfortable with this.
Sure.
It's, you know, how dare you bring that up? You know, like they just get into that mindset.
Yeah, that's true.
Instantly, you are Satan for bringing this subject up.
It just goes back to, like I said, like, just do what you want and leave other people alone. You want to be that way, be that way, but don't give other people shit about it. You know? And that I try to expand to everything. Like we've talked about religion many times, and I'm not a proponent of religion. I think religion can be very, very harmful. But for people that want to practice it, that's totally cool. Whatever floats your boat, go for it. I'm totally fine with that. I don't know. It's just it's just a weird. I wanted to get that one out of the way because it's been sitting on my list. I figured make it. We were trying to figure out what to do like right before we started recording instead of having it kind of pre-planned. And it just came to mind. I was like, let's just do this. We could talk about other stuff that goes along with it.
And of course, we're running behind as usual with episodes.
Yeah, we are, but we're not too bad. I think we're only like a week and a half behind now instead of like a month behind. We're going to continue to get better, though. It's okay. We would have had it out. We would have had it out earlier, but I screwed up this week. So,
before we close out, I have a friend, who's interested in the podcast and might want to do some stuff. So I sent him the link and everything. But Mr. Brady brought it up because on March 26th, and I don't know if anybody who listens to this is in the area or lives around us or anything, he has an art show that he's doing, which I'm going to try to bring up. I'm going to try to go and, you know, promote the podcast there as well.
Yeah, it's great.
Because me and him are friends here. I'm going to bring it up because I feel like I owe him that much. Because he's a really good friend. I did artwork for I think it's his brother's, like, his rap album. I did artwork for that a while back.
Yeah, that would be great.
March, let me see.
26th, you said?
So, March 26th, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., it's called Reflections. It's an art show, art experience. Apparently, according to what he told me, he's having a Mario Kart competition there as well.
Yeah, you'll have to remind me so we can go. I'll go with you.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome. And of course, I'm so dumb I can't see where it is because I only have Instagram.
I can put it on social. We can put it in the show notes if you want.
Yeah, so we'll put it in the show notes. But yeah, $25 for tickets.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. We still haven't gone to get our pedicures. We still have to do that. I was sick.
No, we definitely have to fucking do that.
Maybe we could sneak out and do that this weekend.
Hey,
while we're hanging out, we could just leave for an hour.
But yeah, like it's, you know, he's had ones before. If you look up Reflections, you'll be able to see it. And we'll put his website and stuff in the show notes. But I figure I'd shout out Malik. He's really he's been putting himself out there.
Yeah,
if he's really big into local art and like helping people out. If he's interested in
jumping on an episode or something like that, that'd be great. And one of the things I was thinking about is if I put it out there in a Scoop group, the Ice Cream Social podcast group. If one of us isn't available one week, like if I'm busy or if you're busy, and we could get some people that are interested in jumping on once in a while, just to make sure we get an episode out each week. You know, if it's people,
you know what, I would
right? Why not
get other people's like takes on things?
Well, I was gonna say, or just to kind of join us once in a while, like we can have some people join us. But I figured if we could put together a group of a few people that are kind of like our backups, they can either join us on an episode, or if one of us isn't around, they can jump on and record an episode. I had quite a few people in Scoop Group that when I said like, hey, anybody be interested in joining us on the podcast once in a while, quite a few people were like, yeah, definitely. So,
okay.
Absolutely. I think it'd be really cool to get some people on with us once in a while, or like I said, that way we don't miss weeks as much. If one of us can't do it, we could do it with somebody else. I thought about one of the more recent weeks.
You're just trying to find a way to get rid of me. I understand.
Never. The whole reason I told you from the get-go, I wouldn't do this podcast if it wasn't with you. There's just nobody else I would do it with. There's nobody else I would work with properly. But I feel
You'd
like,
fuck me, but you would kick me out. That's
only if you were Heather Locklear. Space. But anyway, yeah, I think it would be really cool. I thought about trying to do, like, one of the weeks I was like, maybe I should just record something myself for 30 minutes. I was like, no. That would be terrible.
You know what? You know what? This is probably why we like being on a podcast with each other, because I thought the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, ew. No.
Yeah. That's what I was like,
just,
no, wouldn't work. It would just be me going, yeah. So, like, awesome. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll get kind of a backup group. So, like, if your friend's interested, and that way, if there's weeks where one of us isn't available, or maybe we just want to get somebody to join us, we'll start having a couple extra voices, because, like you said, it'd be cool to have other people. We agree on too much sometimes.
That's what I'm saying. I think that I would like, that kind of back and forth.
Yeah,
we will find things that we don't agree on, but
we do and we have. We do and we have. And, like, when we have dissenting opinions, I think it makes it more fun. It's just more fun to argue about stuff. So it'd be fun to get somebody else in.
We're too agreeable with one another.
Yeah, it might be that
where you're coming from.
It might be that too. It might just be. Yeah,
see, we're doing it now.
I don't totally agree with Joaquin, but I kind of do. Oh, I get it.
I can see where he's coming from.
I know what he means. Yeah, he's right. He's right. All right, guys. Website's up. The shop will probably be up by the time you hear this, I think. We got a couple shirts and some hoodies if you want to pick one up. They're really not that expensive, but just some quick stuff. We'll keep adding to the collection over time. ATIWIHY.com. Send us an email. Let us know what you thought of an episode. If you think we're wrong, if you think we're crazy, if you got an opinion. If you really disagree with us, that's even better.
Oh, that's even better.
If you're like, that allows me
to think. No, that allows me to think if you can outdo it, or I'll just find a way to make fun of you.
Yeah, one or the other. One or the other, yeah.
And I won't call you out. I'll just make fun of your point, not you specifically.
But that's the show. Thanks for listening, guys. Hopefully we'll see you next week.